Hello and welcome. I wanted to talk about the heart. And the heart is a different language to the rest of our consciousness. There are various parts of our consciousness, and there's also a space of being. So when we talk about love, there are so many different components of love and what they all mean, and what love means for me could mean something else for someone else. So the heart is felt. And it's not implying that I want to change anyone. That's not the true aspect of healing. It's not forcing anyone to change. For me, it's about leading by example and empowering others to find their own way home. But what I found within myself and experientially is that if I just drop into my heart and be present with all of me in there in the presence, so that I'm not drifting and away into another place, people would show up in the way that they wanted to show themselves. And so healing begins to occur when someone feels like they are understood or held. And again, I'm moving more away from the component of an outcome, because outcome now, particularly now, is a mystery. I wanted to talk about crystals that I work with and what I resonate with. Because each one of us has a gift or a language or an experience of what we offer to life. We're all unique in our own way. And so what I resonate with is crystals, but it doesn't mean you have to be into crystals in order for me to communicate the language of what it's speaking to you. So rose quartz is a crystal of the heart, and it has a place of melting into the fire or the flame of purification through unconditional love. And again, it's a matter of being present with what is laying underneath the avoidance of and denial of how you're feeling. So even if you're feeling, so there's the spiritual component, or your connection to God or source or light or love or whatever you want to name, the nameless, the mystery. And then as human beings, it's our way is for feeling our hearts and feeling our emotions. So when people say, oh, I'm not angry, I'm not upset, I'm not sad, I'm happy, and you can see in their eyes that what they're speaking is not the same as what they're feeling. And so with those people, they have fear underneath of being rejected or abandoned if they speak the truth of how they feel. Or they've been through some kind of trauma or some experience in their life where they were forced to shut down their emotions, or in a family where emotions were not held in a way that was safe, for example, the anger. So you'd have children that will lash out in anger, and parents didn't know how to support the child in a healthy way and how to explore the anger as being something that can be discharged and used, and fire and passion in there to move through in a healthy way. Okay, so when we suppress that anger and hold on to it, it comes up as stresses and anxiety later in our life. The reason why we have anxiety is because we're so wanting to squeeze and squash down those emotions as being bad. And anxiety happens when it just like, it doesn't want to, your body is telling you that it wants to open that up, but you're just pushing on, refusing to feel that. And so the mind goes into this looping of fear, which comes up as anxiety. And so when you feel the fear and you push it away as if it's bad or wrong, it becomes toxic, and then that's when the anxiety comes up. So there is a specific way of holding individuals through these stresses and unravelings and undoings in the body and the mind and the soul. And one way I use that is using crystal oracle readings, because each person is at a specific moment of their lives at a different level. So if rose quartz does not show up in their reading, then they are not ready to embody rose quartz, which is the crystal of forgiveness. Instead, they may be processing some trauma. And it's like I've just recently explored that when someone is in trauma and their nervous system is flying in all different directions and the anxiety is up and really strong, and there's panic attack, and there's people in that state are not able to process emotions or bring up emotions effectively until that nervous system is settled. So the crystals that will come in for people like that is hematite and petrified wood and charoite and sodalite and amethyst at times as well, and sugilite and sapphire and lepidolite and ruby. These crystals are all for anxiety, emotions being or feelings being so shaken that it shakes the nervous system. And another crystal that's coming up is selenite and clear quartz and rhodochrosite, where the nervous system has been shaky and very sensitive and very explosive, that it has no way of knowing how to find its ground in order to lock into processing and healing. So there are specific crystals for specific periods of your life and expansion. And if you are suppressing and in denial and you feel really numb, what happens is that later in life you meet crises, or relationships that are dysfunctional and health conditions. And do you really want to get to that point where you reach a crisis in order to open up and explore what's happening underneath? And another one is addiction. So I invite you to explore with compassion of what is happening with you underneath the external influences, underneath the external influences. And another word is veils. Into the truth of actually how you're feeling. So rose quartz is one of those really important crystals that works at the heart level. So the kind of, you may be the person that says, oh, it's just a rock, it's scientifically just made up of these elements and compounds and different bonds that connect it, and there's a specific scientific formula that holds the crystal together, and it comes out of the earth, and its composition is carbon and oxygen and hydrogen. You may be one of those scientific geologists. To me, life is, I'm all in. Every aspect of me is all in. So I like to explore the mystery of what makes this rock alive. What holds this rock? What energy is there that helps it come together like that? What makes our hearts beat? What makes us think? We're not dead. Are we dead? No, we're alive. There's a life. And if you're scientific and that's what you would like to stay at, that's okay. Just leave. Leave us alone and carry on with your scientific world. Instruments cannot measure life and energy. Instruments cannot measure faith and hope and miracles of life. So rose quartz to me is about melting into the warmth of unconditional love, and I think my teachers, Justin Mokia Asar, and my recent teacher, Zoe, for introducing me to the animal that represents rose quartz, which is like a little puppy dog. So for those that abuse dogs, then you really need to look at the vibration of forgiveness within your heart, because you've been through trauma where you only know abuse and know only how to act from abuse. You are afraid of love, and so you stay and remain with what is familiar to you because you are afraid of the mystery of love. So again, I invite you to allow the innocence of love, just like the purity of divine love, to surround you and come into your heart like you're holding a baby, and this baby has the most purest innocence that you've ever felt. And if you haven't felt that, then again I invite you with a prayer to invite divine love. And when you intention and pray for this type of love to come into your heart of melting, and the emotions come up of grief. The intention of prayer, in order to become forgiveness, in order to embody forgiveness, there is stages of progress. And as soon as you come into the magic of asking, the deeper part of you that hungers and longs for something else of what you have, that longs for love, there is a process and stages that happen in your life. Experiences begin to come to you where you are learning the lesson to enable to embody forgiveness. And these experiences is exactly portraying the lessons that you have shut down within yourself, or what you've been through as a child, or what you've been through, or how you've even treated people come up. And each time that arises, you hold yourself as if you're holding that love that you missed within yourself. You say, I love you, thank you, I love you, thank you, I love you. Even when in your mind says, fuck off, I don't want that, that's bullshit. Even when your mind says that, even when you're fighting it, because it's just like a puppy dog that's been abused. They don't respond to that love straight away. It takes time. They're just like gonna want to bite you and growl at you, and they're only protecting themselves from the environment that they've been in. It takes time and practice and patience, but the intention is there. So rose quartz has that vibration of softening inward and taking that love and melting inward. There are other crystals that represent love, but they have a different way. For example, rhodochrosite is about love as well, but that's about setting boundaries and making love on your own terms and conditions. Rose quartz is different. It's about melting in the warmth. And if you don't feel the warmth of the rose quartz in your heart, then there is a wall, and that wall needs to be teased and combed and invited to say, hey, I feel numb, and that's okay. But of course, like bringing in the prayer of divine love coming into your heart. Love whatever is there. That growling dog, speak to that growling dog. Yes, you're growling because you're protecting yourself. I understand you went through a lot as a child. I understand that you are scared and afraid, and so you're fighting back. That is the language of unconditional love. And then when the teasing and the trust starts to build and build, because the dog knows that you're not going to hit it, you're not going to abuse it, you're not going to fight back in defense. Rose quartz. Then the puppy dog starts to remember that they are love. Thank you.